Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dave, and this is Alaskan Homesteading. Today we are on the Denali Highway. We're out on a camping trip for a few days, and we've got our UTV. So we're going to go explore some trails. Today we're taking the Maclaren Summit Trail, which is going to send us over that way into the clouds. A little rainy, a little not awesome weather today. Maybe it'll clear up a little bit later. We'll see. The forecast is, it's a forecast. Who knows? But at any rate, we're going to get unloaded here and get rolling. The trail's over there, and we are going to go drive on it. The part of the park, well, not park, but the area that we're in is called the Tangle Lakes Archaeological District, and it's a place that's been inhabited by humans for tens of thousands of years. Now there's you can find a lot of artifacts in the area. Obviously, if you find any, leave them there. Maybe take a note where it is so you can report it to somebody that can go investigate it or look at it. But we're mostly out here looking for wild blueberries, and we'll see what we find. As I mentioned, we're in the Tangle Lakes Archaeological District, and there's some information here at the trailhead that talks about the timeline of the inhabitation of this area, and yeah, it's just some interesting information. We are here, and we are going up here to the west end of 7 Mile Lake. I'm just getting out to walk around and check out some of these little lakes. We already found a bunch of blueberries, like, 100 yards in on the trail, so we know there's plenty out here. We got some little low bush tundra blueberries. We got some crowberries. A nice little lake. I guess maybe it's technically just a pond. Well, we stopped to look at some nice blueberry patches, and now there's like a wall of cloud just rolling towards us from the south.
Look at them all in here.
Blueberries are abundant. Good flavor. All right, time to keep rolling. About 7.5 miles up the trail. The trail's only 9.5 miles long. It's all pretty much the same kind of rolling open tundra. Found a little bit of snow left over up here. Guess I found a pretty decent amount of mud. The trail is pretty rocky out this way, so you got to take it pretty slow. Otherwise, you're really beating the machine up and yourself. So, decided to take a little break and just relax a couple minutes. Let the eyeballs stop bouncing around inside our heads. Well, we made it to our objective, 7 Mile Lake. I don't know if it's 7 miles long or if it's 7 miles from something, but here it is. There's some kind of white object down on the shore. We have to look through the binoculars and see. I don't know if maybe there's a little cabin or somebody got a camper over there somehow. But it's a nice little area. Clouds are still just kind of hanging in. Down here at 7 Mile Lake, there is what I think might be a new connector trail that goes from the west end of the lake here over to the 7 Mile Lake Trail, which also takes you back down to the Denali Highway. So you could kind of make a loop if you wanted to You'd have to drive back on the highway, obviously, if you did a loop, but you have that option. Let's see here, just some regulations here. Off-road vehicles, 1,500 pounds or less. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, looks like pretty easy little trail probably that goes off that way. Good morning. It's day 2 on our Denali Highway trip. We have the Osar Lake trail today. And this one leaves from the same spot we left from yesterday. It just heads south down to Osar Lake. And it's about 7 miles each way, so a little shorter. This one will be, I guess, different. We're going over glacial eskers, they're a particular geological formation. And we'll maybe try and get some video of that so you can see what those are. But yeah, looks like a pretty easy drive, and we'll just go see how it goes. As advertised, this trail does offer sweeping views of the valley. It's gorgeous out here. Weather's not the greatest, but you do what you got to do here in Alaska, because sometimes it is what it is. And again, we have nice blueberries all along the trail here, so we'll be able to pick some more today. I think we got about 3 quarts yesterday. And here I believe we find ourselves on the very first glacial esker, so this sort of hump that forms laterally to the direction of flow of the glacier. So this whole valley was carved out by a glacier, and you can kind of see the glacier way off in the distance up there, that nice white streak coming out of the mountains. And so as the glacier comes along, it's kind of piling up stuff on the sides, and you get these eskers. Nice little narrow trail along the top of them. The sign says this is a moderate trail, and I guess as far as difficulty, sure. The first couple of miles are really pretty rocky and rough, so we're just kind of cruising along in low gear. It's just, you get to crawl a bit here and there, but no significant obstacles. Anybody could drive down this trail, really. Well, we've made it to the end of the Osar Lake Trail. Over here behind me is Osar Lake, and across this creek looks to be one of these archaeological sites. There's a sign down here that indicates, you can't take your ATVs any further. You can walk wherever you want, but seems to me like a pretty good spot if you were going to put a little settlement. You'd have some elevated ground, nice lake, big views of the area, plenty of wildlife potential because you are near water, and lots and lots of blueberries again. Anyway, we're gonna walk around a little bit. Well, we're done driving around in the UTV for today. I think we picked another, I don't know, half a gallon of berries today or something like that.
At least a gallon.
Or a gallon maybe. I don't know. You kind of lose track. But we're back at the camper. We've got our fire. We've had some our veggie platter. And it's turned out to be a pretty nice night. A little cool, a little breezy, but at least there's nothing wet falling out of the sky. So, my parents got me this awesome set of fire tongs to use. This is the first time we've had a campfire since I got it. Ooh, I move out of the smoke. But seems like a pretty good tool for stacking burning logs. Arrange our fire just so. Cool, that works great. Burgers for dinner tonight. Gotta have toasted buns. Looks delicious. And to round out our burgers, we've got our homegrown tomatoes and onions. Bon appetit. Oh yes, and our special refreshing rhubarb beverage. So we always make our s'mores kind of bougie with these Giardelli chocolate squares. And I found a new flavor called caramel waffle cone. I think it should go without saying, it's delicious. Good morning. It's a windy, brisk day here on the Denali Highway. We've gone east to the Landmark Gap Trail, and we are going to go head south, the Landmark Gap South Trail. Today probably we'll try and get more berries. We've got about 2 gallons so far, and yeah, it looks like maybe the rain will hold off today. We'll see. At any rate, now we need to unload, and we're going to try something a little different. Figure we back up to this little slope here and just kind of back off without the ramps and just see how that goes. So this is the South Landmark Gap Trail that we're going to take. It starts here at milepost 24.7 of the Denali Highway. Goes about 6 miles that way. And we are here. We're headed down this way. And then we'll come back. Again, archaeological district. Could be artifacts and ruins and stuff. Who knows? But yeah, should be a nice day. It's at least cool and breezy instead of being wet and rainy. So I'll take that any day. Well, I guess about 100 yards in, we've come to a creek crossing. It doesn't look too bad. I think we've gone over much worse for sure. But hopefully we just don't get hung up on anything. But yeah, after the first little branch to the left, immediately there's a creek crossing. So we reviewed Onyx, and we're pretty sure that this path here goes basically straight through to where the trail picks up, and it looks pretty navigable. However, we're going to learn from last time's escapades with water and pull out some winch line first before we end up getting stuck. I don't want to have to fool with it once we're already jammed up somewhere. Let's see if I can feed this out. That's super. Doesn't want to come out. Might have to turn it with the winch a bit. Anyway, we're going to pull out some winch rope and be ready just in case.
You got it, dude. You got it.
Well, we got, I don't know, maybe a mile down the trail on Landmark Gap South and encountered something kind of interesting. This is metal grating that's been installed. At least I think it's metal. It's either metal, no, maybe it's plastic. Yeah, it's plastic. But it goes out to kind of cover some of this swampy area. But we walked a ways down there and it's like torn up and pushed aside, and it's just deep, muddy muskeg over there. We're not going to make it through that, or at least don't feel like trying to make it through that. We've decided to skip that. So anyway, we're going to go find an alternate. There's plenty of other trails here, so we'll go check something else out. Our alternate selection is the Landmark Gap North Trail, and crosses ancient caribou migration routes that have drawn hunters here for thousands of years. Unfortunately, our caribou population is way down here in Alaska, but I hear it's coming back. And then here's some information about the hunting prehistory. And I'm not sure what this What do they mean here with this, the Great Gap? Is this uninhabited?
That's when they were uninhabited
Yeah.
for 5,000 years here.
Yeah, so maybe something bad happened with the climate here during that period. And Mount Hayes volcanic ash. So a whole historical timeline. That's cool. High-tech hunters. A wooden implement called a throwing board was also used in extensions, so like an atlatl. Yeah. Well, we're gonna give this one a shot and we'll see how it goes. Right away, this trail is much, much better condition. It doesn't have any gigantic boulders or mud holes. And the view is a little more interesting because we're headed up to this landmark gap, which, you know, like it said in the sign, is where caribou would come migrate through. And I think this should be a little nicer. Wind really blows through this gap, big time. Made it to the river. I don't think we're driving through that. Looks pretty deep. I think the trail just continues up that way where there's that person walking. So I think it goes up along the left side of the river. Well, you may or may not be able to hear me. I'm trying to block the mic from the wind as much as I can. But boy, it's really, really blowing down here through this gap and over this lake. Whitecaps, that's something. But I guess this is the end of the trail. Waves are hitting that rock and making spray. That's funny. Still, I'll take this any day over rain. This is much nicer. Well, we found a little trail off to the side that's marked as closed for ATVs due to archaeological significance. So we're taking a little hike and we'll go up on top of this little plateau here in the wind, have some snacks, have a look around, and then we'll go back. Just kind of a neat little area to explore.
Yeah, people have been driving up here.
Yeah, I don't think people are necessarily always respecting the sign. But it's only like a mile round trip to walk up there, so whatever. A little bushwhack up here to the summit. Too windy to really hang out up there, but it's a nice view. Worth the walk if you're ever up here at the end of the Landmark Gap North Trail. You get a great view of the lake and surrounding valley, and it's a pretty easy trail up and down. Well, we are done our lunch and found a nice little berry picking spot, so we're gonna get back to harvesting these wonderful blueberries. There's just in such abundance here. Well, we're done with the Landmark Gap North Trail, and we got a really good berry haul. Got about 1 bucket between us, this thing, which is probably about 2 quarts, and then a quart Nalgene bottle, so another more than a gallon. So great spot to pick berries up there off that trail. About 2 miles in, you could walk there. You don't even need a machine. just walk in and start looking for open areas with lots of lichen and low bushes, and you'll find berries. Time to pack up here, get loaded up, get back to camp, have a fire, have a shower, have some dinner, and we'll head on home tomorrow. Well, we're wrapping up our trip. We got all packed up this morning, and as is frequently the case, we've got an absolutely gorgeous morning. The sun is out, the skies are clear, and now it's time for us to go home. So that happens sometimes. We'll just have to come back and see the parts that we didn't see on another trip. But I hope that you enjoyed visiting the Denali Highway with us. We got to go explore Osar Lake Trail and Landmark Gap North Trail and Landmark Gap South a little bit, as well as the trail up to 7-Mile Lake. Really some beautiful places. We're hauling home, I think, 3.5 gallons of blueberries now, which is awesome. And we'll be getting set to make some delicious desserts and jams and other things. Anyway, thanks so much. Well, we had a nice early start this morning. It was beautiful out, as I was mentioning in what I was originally going to end the video on. And during a stop, we discovered a problem. I'll just give you a quick view of what that problem is, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do to solve it. The leaf spring on the right side of the trailer broke on the second axle, and that means we're the suspension's not performing correctly. The practical impact is that this tire has gotten really bald. I think this problem has been for a while, and we just didn't really notice it. So we're gonna have to change out this tire, and that should at least help us get home. Cool thing about a double axle trailer is you can drive one axle up onto a stack of blocks, and a lot of times your second axle, will be not touching or just barely touching the ground. Your tire will be a little free, so it should be pretty easy to change the tire. We're going to go ahead and work on that. Well, we got the tire pumped up to 50 psi, and now we're gonna go find a spot to pull over and have breakfast and double check the lug torque, make sure everything's still good, and then get home and start figuring out how I'm gonna replace this leaf spring. Fun times. All right, we made it home. The tire and the wheel and everything stayed intact. There were no further mishaps. Let's see, take a look at the other side here. Yep, this side's intact too. Obviously the spring is still broken, as you can see, but made it home safe. Anyway, thanks for joining our adventure out to Denali Highway. We'll follow up this video with some information about the repair that I've got to do. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.